Hi, my name is Dr. John Douillard, and this is the second in a series of newsletters on how to treat stubborn weight loss. This newsletter I'll discuss 10 very effective and proven techniques of how to lose weight. In the first newsletter, I talked about the basics. Basics from my book, The 3-Season Diet, from my Gaiam video on weight loss, and also a new book that's coming out in April of 2010 that I co-authored with Christian Douillard. So please look for that book coming out soon. In the first video, I talked about the simple things, how to make sure you're eating 3 good, healthy meals per day, not 6 meals a day, and why it's so important to have 3 meals, because in between those meals, your body is convinced that it's okay and important and necessary to burn fat. If I eat a meal and then a snack and a meal and a snack and eat 6 little tiny meals a day, my body has no reason to burn its fat. If I have breakfast and nothing to lunch, in between breakfast and lunch, my body is forced to burn my fat. Why is it important to burn fat? Not just for weight loss. Fat is the calm fuel, stable fuel, non-emergency fuel. It's the fuel that burns over a long period of time. It makes you feel calm in your skin. It detoxifies you. When you're under stress, we produce a lot of acid in our body. The fat, when you burn it, it mitigates that acidity, so it mitigates the chemistry of disease. It's critically important we all learn how to burn fat. That's the topic of my books on weight loss, and it's the topic of my first newsletter on how to deal with stubborn weight loss. Now, in this video, I want to give you 10 proven techniques to help you lose weight. The first technique is eating grapefruits. Yeah, the grapefruit diets from the 70s worked. Grapefruits are fat emulsifiers. They work great. It's the season to eat grapefruits. Grapefruits are beginning to show up in your grocery stores as we speak. This is the time of the year to start beginning to have some grapefruit. 1 or 2 grapefruits a day, not 20 grapefruits a day, 1 or 2 a day in the morning for breakfast helps get the body to kick into a fat metabolic state. And when you break the fast, you're breaking the fast with something that will continue the fast, which means fat burning metabolism into the morning hours so you don't crash and burn, need a coffee break at 10 o'clock. So that's the first technique. The second technique, add a little raw honey to the grapefruit. That also, believe it or not, is a fat emulsifier. It has to be, though, raw honey. Cooked and processed honey works completely different than raw honey. In Ayurvedic medicine, raw honey is critically important. Not to cook with your honey, not to bake with your honey, but to have the honey raw. Honey, when it's raw, is a fat emulsifying, detoxifying agent. When you cook it, it becomes a toxin, very difficult to digest. There's a story in my 3-Season Diet book that I talk about of how beekeepers, will spray raw honey diluted with water onto the hive to calm the bees down so they can go in and take and maintain the hive. And when they would use cooked honey, in 20 minutes, all the bees were dead. So somehow the beekeepers figured it out. In Ayurvedic medicine, they figured this out thousands of years ago, that there is a difference between raw honey and cooked honey, and raw honey is medicine. It doesn't spike your blood sugar high and low. It allows the body to get energy and vitality, but it also maintains fat metabolism. It doesn't overrule the fat metabolism like a sugar meal might. Another study that was done recently is drinking water before a meal. In Ayurvedic medicine, they've known for thousands of years, drink a big glass of water, 1 or 2 glasses of water even, about 15 to 20 minutes before the meal. This increases, according to a new study, the thermogenesis, your digestive strength, by 24% by having a little bit of water before each meal. Another tip, the fourth tip, we've all know that breads are hard to digest and wheat and gluten is out. Well, a new study showed that sourdough bread and rye bread actually reduce and balance insulin levels, which is the key for us to stabilize our blood sugar and burn fat. Insulin, when it goes up and down, the body goes, oh my God, this is an emergency. Take all the fat you can find, store it in your fat cells, and don't burn any. So when you eat sourdough bread, and rye bread, it has a balancing effect on your insulin. So yes, it might have a little bit of gluten. That's another story, a topic of another newsletter. However, it doesn't spike your blood sugar like regular whole wheat bread or other wheat breads would. Another study was done on vinegar. Vinegar also balanced insulin and blood sugar. So having vinegar on your salad in Italy, they have balsamic vinegar before every meal, and the vinegar helps to stabilize the blood sugar. It has acetic acid in it, and these acetic acids tend to strengthen and fire up the digestive system. One of the biggest problems in our culture today is weak digestive fire, the inability to break down food in a robust way. Our bodies have been our furnaces have been kind of dumbed down to a lower percentage of burning ability. We don't digest it in really well like we did when we were in our teens, in our early 20s. Our whole furnace is kind of slowing down. We can fire that up. There are many techniques to do that. This is one of them. In Ayurvedic medicine, instead of using vinegar on our salad, we suggest using lemon. Same thing. It has acids that strengthen the digestive system. Squeeze a little bit of lemon on your salad with a little bit of raw honey. Makes a perfect salad dressing. Squeeze a little bit of lemon in that big glass of water you have before, 15 to 20 minutes before the meal. Strengthens your digestion and gives you blood sugar stability and insulin stability going into and after the meal, so you don't have that big crash. Another study was done on having green tea before the meal. We all have heard that in Japan and in China, you go to a Chinese or Japanese restaurant, they serve you green tea with the meal. These are digestive aids. The caffeine in these beverages tend to stimulate digestive function and digestive strength. That on an empty stomach would give you a quick high and a quick low perhaps, and not give you the stability, because empty stomach caffeine beverages give you a spike and then a crash. But if you have it with the meal, it'll actually stimulate your ability to digest the food in a more efficient manner. Green tea has been measured, as white tea and black tea, believe it or not, has been shown to stimulate the fat-burning genes in our body. So the genes that are in charge of burning fat are stimulated by having a little green tea before a meal, or a little green tea with the meal, or even black tea or white tea. So for thousands of years, these cultures have been doing green tea with the meal, and guess what? It keeps them thin by stimulating fat-burning genes. Having spices before the meal, black pepper, turmeric, ginger, salt. We use an herb in Ayurvedic medicine called trickatu, which is designed to fire up the digestive system. It shows that when you have these spices either before a meal or during a meal or with your meal, you actually decrease the ability to absorb white sugar. So the sugar that you might eat after a meal or with dessert is mitigated by having these spicy foods in your meal. It also forces the body to burn more calories. So having spice with your food is a great way to do it. In Ayurvedic medicine, we suggest having a little ginger, slice it up like little dime-sized pieces, squeeze some lemon on it, sprinkle some salt on it, have one or two of those before each meal, or take a couple of capsules of an herb called trickatu, which is a powerful digestive agent. I'm going to do an entire video on the power of benefiting your digestive strength with the herb called trickatu in just a couple of newsletters. So those are important to have some spice and digestive, which strengthen your digestion before every single meal.